Hey Libra, hope you're doing fantastic. All right, so let's get started here. This is the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, defense, strategy. Oh my gosh, strategizing what you're wanting or what you're doing in life. The Seven of Swords is a manipulation, it's a solitude. So if you're, thinking about your ex, I feel like you may be in the mode of what are they up to, what's going on. Maybe they were very manipulated. I feel like you're just kind of bearing your swords right now. Like, I'm not letting you back in unless you cut the bullshit and unless you can actually have a conversation with me about what's going on and what we've been through. Because some of you, I feel like, maybe ghosted, but more just things happened, you guys ended it, nobody's had any closure, nobody's talking about it. But at the same point, I feel like if they are trying to communicate with you, Libra, you're feeling very manipulated. Like, they're telling you the same thing over and over, but nothing's changed. If you got back together with them, it would just be the same old cycle, right? The first card you have coming into the month is Strength. It's Leo's card, so you could be dealing with Leo, but strength is about strength. It's about patience. It's about perseverance. It's about being strong, but also having controlling what you can, and then relinquishing control in what you can't. So I feel like there's some very big, strong energies here, Libra, where you're either like, I'm not placating this behavior. I feel like they're trying to communicate with you. Either they wronged you, or it doesn't even have to be like cheating or lying. It could just be that you guys were not getting along for whatever reason, and they're still showing the same thing over and over, and you're just kind of like, no, I'm not doing this bullshit anymore. This is like a circle jerk. We keep going in the same direction. So it feels like for the first time in a while, you may have actually said, I'm done. I'd rather be in solitude than to deal with your bullshit anymore. Like, I'm done. Like, we need a minute here. It's hard, but I feel like for the first time in a while, you're very strong and adamant that this is like, you're not tolerating the same old anymore. Either change is coming or you're done. The next card you have is how you're feeling. And you have the Empress. The Empress is a very fruitful Mother Nature type card, somebody who's very enthusiastic. So I feel like this is almost like you going, I feel like there might be something better around the corner. I feel like there might be something better for me this month, that like, if I just get rid of this negative energy, even if it's for a little bit, I'm not saying you guys can't reconcile. I'm just saying, even if it's just getting out of that circle go round of ups and downs and finger pointing and fighting and getting along and fighting and breaking up and making, it's like you're just done with the bullshit right now, and you're kind of like, I need some alone time. I need to be one with nature. I need to be like the best person I can be the bigger, better person, and just walk away from the situation and say, no, not today, not happening today. That's a big saying at my work we talk about. Anyways, but it's basically just saying, maybe another day, but like right now my energy is going to be focused on like gaining my own balance back. The next card you have is your distant past. So over the past 5-10 years, I don't know why. I don't know if these cards are supposed to be in different order, but because I'm saying a different position for each card. But this is your distant past over the past 5-10 years. All right, so this is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is reminiscing. It's meditation. It's looking back. This tells me, excuse me, that there's a lot of things that you would love to do or that you would have loved to do in your life. Like, it could be anything from, you always thought you would get married. You always thought you would have kids. You always thought this would come to fruition. You always thought you'd be, a major art producer, whatever it is for you. And the Six of Cups is saying, look, the universe wants this in your past position, because it's saying, don't give up on those dreams. Don't give up on those expectations. Have those expectations. Have this strength to see them through this time. I keep hearing, like, make a move, like, do it, like, make it come to fruition. Like, you have the power to make this happen. But something's been holding you back. Manipulation, placating somebody else, living somebody else's life, helping somebody else fulfill their dreams while yours are going down the cracks. And I think this month you're kind of relooking at it, revisiting that, looking at things again, saying, hey, this is not where I'm going anymore. Like, I'm going to change things up. I'm going to go in the direction I need to go and the direction I want to go. The next card you have is your immediate past. Over the past few weeks, past month or two, and you have the Nine of Pentacles. So this to me tells me that you're seeing things straight. Now, you may still have had that lock of, I love this person, I care about this person, they mean the world to me, we're still very connected. But you're starting to realize that you can have an abundance and achieve things in your life without them. And I think that's going to be a big wake-up call. And sorry, cross-watchers, if you don't like it, I don't care. The Nine of Pentacles is saying, look, maybe over the past few weeks, and it's not that I don't care, I'm not trying to be harsh, but it doesn't matter what I say, somebody doesn't agree with it. And it, again, this is a general read. The Nine of Pentacles, though, is telling me, Libra, that somewhere along the lines here, you're starting to realize that you can do a lot on your own. You don't need this other person to do things. Now, you love them, you care about them, you wish that you could be doing these things with them, you wish that you could be reaching these heights and getting to the points that you want to in life, fulfilling the things you want with this person. But this is saying, look, you're finding that you can do this with or without them. And it may actually right now be easier without them, just because there's no drama, just because there's no worries, just because there's no animosity, no angst right now, because they obviously still are making you feel some of that. Or the Seven of Wands, Seven of Swords would not be putting you in the position of feeling like, hey, I'm on the defense. I need some sort of strategy to live my life to keep from being manipulated by you. It's almost like they call you and tell you, I miss you, I love you. And you're like, yeah, and they're like, well, isn't that enough? And you're like, no, the years of BS we've been through, I need to see some actual changes here. The next card you have is your distant future. So over the next few months, and you have the Five of Wands. Now, this makes sense to me. The Five of Wands is about priorities, it's about chaos, and it's about competition. So I feel like you're almost going to feel like you're competing for your own life. Like, one hand, you're missing this person, you love this person, you're kind of like, oh, I should just answer their phone call, or I should just agree to meet with them, or we should just try and make this happen. And then the other half of you is competing with, no, I'm doing really good. I'm doing better at work. I'm doing better at home life. And again, it's about priorities. I feel like before, maybe this person was such a priority in your life. And we all do it, right? We all have those relationships where it's like you eat, breathe, and think about each other 24/7. And it's like, you get up in the morning, you're eating breakfast, you're thinking about them. You go to work, you're thinking about them. And it kind of interrupts your daily life, especially when things aren't going well. And so I feel like this is you kind of getting your priorities straight, saying, yes, I still love this person. I'm competing with myself in the fact that I love them, and I don't like not having them in my life. But at the same time, I'm actually going places and doing pretty well without them. So, which it's a catch-22, right? The next card you have is your immediate future. So over the next few weeks, throughout the month, you have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is a spark. It's curiosity, it's confidence. So this is some sort of communication coming between the two of you. You may already be in communication with them, but if you're not, this is going to be a little more consistent, like maybe a few text messages for a couple of days. This is kind of a check and balance. I feel like either they're going to communicate with you to kind of check in with you, or you'll communicate with them to check in with them. But whatever it is, it definitely makes you feel good, and it makes them feel good. It's how far will it go from here? Because it feels like it may come in as quick as it goes out, because then you're still like trying to figure out your checks and balances here with the Five of Wands. But again, the Page of Wands tells me there is some sort of spark. Now, it could be a spark with somebody else. It could be communication with somebody else. You may have somebody else who's interested in you. You may have somebody else who wants to communicate with you, and that could very well be this person making a move knowing that you're separated. The next card you have is anything tangible that's going to happen throughout the month. It could be the beginning, middle, end. It could last for 20 minutes. It could last for a day. And you have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a loss, a feeling of sadness, a grief, but it's like not, it's also not wanting to hear what somebody else has to say, because maybe you just smell bullshit and you're like, no, I'm not interested. This is definitely feeling like you're wasting your time to a certain extent. It's also a solitude card. So you have two cards that represent some sort of solitude, which tells me you're just more interested in being in your own depth, being in your own reality, not really worrying about what anybody else is doing, not really worrying about what your ex is doing, let alone anybody else. This is kind of like figuring out what you want to do, and not really worrying about, like, yeah, it's like you're not crying over spilled milk anymore. You're kind of like, all right, I need to get my shit together. I need to move on with my life. And I do care and love this person and think about them, but it can't be maintained daily anymore. I have to push them, kind of aside so that I can achieve and accomplish what I need to, so that I can get my priorities straight. And then if they can come in and show me that they've changed, or the behavior has changed, or that they're, that we're not going to keep going round and round in circles, then I may entertain the idea of having a conversation with them. The next card you have is how you're feeling throughout the month, and you have the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a dreaming. It's a kind of writing your story. It's a learning and seeking. So I feel like this is you kind of figuring yourself out, figuring out what you want, where you're going. And I really feel like a lot of you are weighing this person very heavily. You're going, okay, I really miss them. I love them. I thought we were going here, here, and here. I thought we had this going for us and we were about to do this. We were going to move in together, have kids, or we talked about getting married or adopting fur babies or whatever it is for you. And the Knight of Cups is saying, look, you're still wanting those things. What I think you're really debating on is if you're wanting those things with this person. Do you really want those things with this ex? Do you see that happening? Or is it going to come to fruition with somebody else? Because I feel like maybe this spark is somebody else. Maybe all of a sudden you're going, huh, the life I always thought I was going to have with this ex, maybe coming to fruition with somebody else. Or maybe I need to start realizing it might not be this ex that I thought it would be this whole time. Because again, I feel like there's some sort of letdown that's still happening, that you're just not, you're getting this letdown that you're just not, really having faith that that this can come around full circle again. The next card you have are your hopes and fears for the outcome. And you have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles, again, is work, 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 work. This is working hard and diligently and going after what you want. And I feel like this is actually work. I feel like you're going to be putting your head in the game where family is concerned, where work is concerned. I think your hope is that if you don't focus any more time and attention on this person, they might actually get their shit together. Hopefully they will. Only time will tell. But your hope is that, yes, they can come around and things can happen. But I kind of feel like you have this sinking feeling that says, I don't necessarily know that they can change. And even if they do change, you know, can I accept it? Or will I be happy with the outcome? Because I feel like a lot of you have been hurt. And again, that's why you have this like defense up, this wall up, because where they're concerned, just because you've been there, done that so many times, that you're like, I don't know that I can do this again. I don't know that I can continue to go through this over and over with this person. It might be time to meet somebody new. And maybe for the first time ever this month, you're going to discover that other people are attracted to you or interested in you. Not that they're not. It's just you will actually realize, hey, oh my gosh, because maybe it's been a long time since somebody's actually invited you out or somebody's, you know, talked to you in a way of interest other than like a coworker. You know what I mean? Where somebody actually flirts with you and you're like, oh, I forgot what that is. Is that flirting? Is that what we do? The next card you have is your outcome. And you have the Hanged Man. So this makes a lot of sense to me. The Hanged Man is about self-awareness, but it's also about sacrifice. The biggest thing I always get with the Hanged Man is that you sacrificed yourself at some point and you're no longer willing to sacrifice yourself again. So Libra, this definitely tells me that a lot of you have sacrificed yourself and your life and your goals and the things you want. That's why I talked about here that there were things you wanted in your past. Maybe you wanted to get married. Maybe you wanted kids. All of these things feel like they've been left in limbo because you have risen to the occasion of taking care of somebody else or allowing somebody else to prosper in their dreams and not yours. And so the Hanged Man is telling me, hey, that you definitely are at the point where you're going, I am willing to give this person a chance. You still love them. There's still a connection there. There's no doubt there. But I think the only way you'd be willing to give them a chance is if you didn't have to sacrifice yourself. And I feel like for whatever reason, and Perfect 2 came out, I feel like for whatever reason, this person makes you feel like you have to sacrifice everything you want. Like your lives have always surrounded what they want or what they needed. And you're kind of like, no, I'm not. And this is Perfect. Your clarification card for your outcome is the Star. And the Star is beautiful. This is hope. This is faith. This is everything. And this is you being the shining star, Libra. This is you saying, no, I come first. For once in my fucking life where you're concerned, I come first. And if you can't see that, I don't have time for you. This isn't going to work. Because for once, Libra, I feel like you're going, no, nope. This isn't going to work for me. There's no, I've compromised. That, no, I deserve the spotlight right now. This needs to be about what I need and what I want too. Not to say that if you got back together with them, it wouldn't be a mutual agreement, but right now, you really need to hear some things from that person. You really need to see some changes, and you really need to hear, like, and feel these, there are certain things, and some of you are going to be like, because there are certain things you need to hear from this person. There are certain actions that need to be taken from this person, or you will move on and you will not look back, because I feel like this is the last straw here. The next card you have is your clarification card for the distant future, and you have the Hierophant, which is Taurus card, so you could be dealing with the Taurus. But the Hierophant It's a very spiritual card, okay? This is a very, like, trust in the universe. The universe has your back type card. This is saying that whatever's meant to be here will be. And I feel like you're trying to figure out, or you're trying to understand what's going on, or you're trying to, again, figure out the strategy. Where am I going? What are they doing? What are we doing? And under here you have the Five of Wands, which is that chaos, that priority. And I feel like you're trying to figure out, well, what's their priority? What are they doing? And the Hierophant is saying, nope, over the next couple of months, it doesn't matter. What you're going to focus on, Libra, is what your priority is and what you're doing. And you're number one and you're the shining star. And then if they come around and you guys can get along and things can come to a compromise, then great. But if not, the Hierophant is saying, if it's meant to come to fruition, it will. You need to let this go. Libra, the hard part here is that I feel like you're nervous that if you let this go, it won't come back. And the universe is saying, look, let it go for your own sanity. Accomplish what you can, start new things, have new sparks, not necessarily with different people. It could be with work or whatever. Work really hard. Focus on yourself. Make sure you don't sacrifice what you want. What did you want before? Focus on all of that. Put your attention towards that and how you're going to get there. And the Hierophant will help you decide if this person is going to come back in and come along for the ride and you guys can get back together, or if you can't. I think the most important lesson here, though, this month was going to be, can you focus on yourself solely and focus on where you're going and what you want to do without worrying about what this other person is going to do? Because frankly, they didn't seem to worry about what the hell you were going to do over the past couple of months or the past year or so, when they were happily moving along, chugging along in their direction of what they were going to do. So now it's time to put yourself first. And if they come back around and you can feel and tell and get the things you need to hear and see and feel from them, great. And if not, then the universe has another plan in store for you, and it may be somebody else coming in who just matches you much better. All right, Libra, see you soon.